This is Banner, and Banner has is a terrier mix of some sort, and he has some dog, I don't want to say reactivity issues, but he has some social issues with meeting other dogs. He likes to run straight up to them, to other dogs. That's confrontational. In this video, I'm going to show you how to teach him how to focus and also offer some tips about meeting other dogs. So I've got about 12 treats in my hand. I'm a lefty, or I'm a righty, excuse me. So I have my left hand. I have one treat in my right hand, and I'm going to hold it between my thumb and forefinger, sit, and I'm going to put it against my knee. Now, the purpose of this exercise is to get him to look me in the face. Now, a lot of trainers, they want to do this, they will hold the treat up here like this and say, watch me. Now, when dogs are stressed out and humans are stressed out, what the stress hormone is actually called cortisol. And it's something that goes in your blood and basically accelerates your heart rate, your breathing, your blood circulation. It prepares you for fight or flight. But it also can stress you out. Veterans or people who have cortisol in their blood for too long will develop PTSD, and dogs absolutely can develop PTSD as well. So the nice thing about this is if a dog voluntarily looks you in the eyes for longer than 9 seconds, it starts producing oxytocin and serotonin, and there's a third one I can't remember. But these are basically love hormones, and this is what mothers get when they breastfeed a child. It helps them bond. If a dog voluntarily looks you in the eyes, it releases oxytocin, serotonin, the third one, and stops the production of cortisol. So you have 2 benefits there. If you lure the dog to look at you, it doesn't produce any of those benefits. That's why I do it the way that I'm doing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in a sit. Sit. Then I take another one, and I'm going to put him my hands on my knees. Now, he's being a dog. He's going straight to where the source is, and he's trying to take it. That's not going to get it to him. I'm not moving my hands away. I'm not disagreeing. I'm watching him intently. As soon as he gives me any look towards my face, I'm going to raise it towards my nose and then put it directly in his mouth. Focus, and that's the command word. Sit. Now again, he's going to try to take it. That doesn't work. When you're dealing with the dog behaviorist, what we do is we try to create a situation where the dog has a couple options and it can do whatever it wants. It has free will. When it does what I want, then it gets the reward. Focus. So this teaches him, he's coming to the realization that looking at the human in the face is rewardable. Now I raise my nose because I want to maintain him looking at my face the whole time. If I go straight from my knee to his nose, he's going to look down. Focus. It's actually better if you're over here. You're a good-looking dog. They want to see you on camera. Sit. Now, he doesn't have to sit or lie down or anything. He just has to be in front of you. I normally do this with a dog sitting. With me sitting, I want the treats about knee height, but he's a little guy and I think would be too tall. So I'm just watching his focus. What we should start to see is him looking at us faster and faster and going less towards the treats that are on my knees because that doesn't get it for him, but looking at me does get it for him. Focus. So I'm raising it to my nose in a 1-second movement, and I'm going straight from my nose to his mouth in a 1-second movement. And that's what we're going to start off with. Eventually, going from my nose to his mouth is going to be a 15-second movement. So I did that because he was starting to lose interest. After he's done this a while, he's going to be all about it. And you're going to see a big wet spot on my knee. I did not wet my pants. It's him licking it. It can be an eye dart. It doesn't have to be direct eye contact. Focus. And as soon as he looks, you've got to be Johnny on the spot with delivering those treats. Focus. And reload afterwards each time so he knows we're still playing this game. Focus. Focus. No licks that time. So what we want to do is 1 second, 1 second for all 12 treats. The next time we do it, or once we get to the point where he's pretty much just looking at us the whole time, then we go, here, we'll do a couple more. Come here, buddy. Over here. You need the profile shot. That's kind of more of a butt shot. There we go. Sit. So eventually it's going to look like this when he does it. I'll just count it out for you. 1 second. Focus. Up to 15 seconds. Now, when you practice when you have about 12 treats, I'm taking the chicken liver from Tricky Trainers, are the ones that I like to use. You want to, when it comes to treats, it should have a small smell, or a strong smell. Focus. And then once he starts looking at us right away, then we go 1 second, 2 seconds for all 12 treats. And the next person does it 1 second, maybe 3 seconds. Now, it's not necessarily 1 extra second per time you do it. It's the dog can maintain a gaze at you for up to 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is. You want to get to the point, focus, where he is giving you up to 15 seconds eye contact within a week. Now, when you do this, you don't want to just practice here. You want to practice here, there, in the next room, down the hall, all over the place, inside the house, but with no distractions. The easiest version possible. Once you get to the point where you can have that 15-second gaze, then we want to do it maybe in your hallway, right outside your apartment. Now, not when there are any other dogs there, but now there's distractions. We're close to going out for a walk, so we change the dynamic. And it's going to be harder for the dog to do that. So at that point, we go back to 1 second, 1 second. But we might do that for like 5 treats, then 1 second, 2 seconds for 5 treats, and then 1 second, 3 seconds for 3 treats. We can move a little faster because he knows what we're doing. Sit. Do another one. And so the idea is, then eventually what we want to do is you want to go out in your front. I was laughing at your lawn furniture chained to the fence, but it is LA. And so then you want to practice there, but again, not with any dogs around, no people around. You're just doing this to help him practice in progressively more and more challenging situations. Now, this should be within about 2 weeks where you can have a 15-second even outside. Now, once you get outside, once you get into 15 seconds on your little deck, then you're going to start doing on actual walks. He's being very determined now. He didn't get the lesson. So keep on practicing it 1 second until he's not doing this anymore. He's just looking straight up at you. So the next step is we want to actually do it when we're walking. And yes, you're really going to town. And I kind of am shielded between a thumb and forefinger so that he can only get to a little bit of it. Focus. All right, let's see if we can demonstrate over here, buddy. Come here. Oh. Just want to make sure I'm not knocking over something. All right, buddy, come here. So when I'm walking him, if he's walking on my right side and we have a dog coming, I can walk and say, focus, and then go down towards his mouth and redirect him away from looking at the other dogs. And so now the way that we do this, again, we have to develop a very strong focus without the presence of any activity or exercises. But then when you're, the last stage is when you're on a walk and there are no dogs around, every once in a while I say focus, he looks up at you, he's walking here, you raise the treat to your nose and then go down like this, pop in his mouth. So he's not even paying attention, he's walking to walk into things, he's just looking up at you. Dogs only focus on one thing at a time. So if you train him to focus on you on command, it's a great way to redirect his attention. So let's say you're walking in the street and somebody comes around the corner with a dog, and they're a block away. He sees that other dog and he starts getting stiff, his tail even higher than it normally is. He's going to be more reactive based on the energy of the dog and the proximity of the dog. If it's an old dog, the guardians have noticed he's not very reactive. If it's a young, boisterous dog that's bouncing around, he's going to be more reactive at a greater distance. So what we do is as soon as the dog turns around the corner, let's say it's a medium energy dog, and he's just walking a nice heel next to his guardian, but he's looking at it, staring at it the whole time. Well, staring is a precursor, it's a warning in a lot of capacities. So the dog's kind of saying, hey man, I don't like what you're doing. And when dogs approach each other, I mentioned this off camera, they take kind of a curved approach. A straight approach is confrontational. Unfortunately, in our city grids, all of our sidewalks are straight lines. So we walk right towards the next dog that's walking towards us. And your dog's like, oh my God, that dog looks really mean. Why are you walking me straight to him? And you're just thinking, we're not even going to talk to that dog. We're walking right past that dog. Your dog's like going, that dog is coming, you're walking me right up to doom. And so that can create, and if the dog feels insecure, I'm going to start acting tough as a way of blustering and trying to hopefully get that other dog to move away. So if your dog is reactive, one of the best things you can do is increase distance. Walk down a driveway, walk around a car, do something else. And then my 2 tests, can I get the dog to sit and take a treat? If it won't sit or take a treat, it's too proximate, it's too close. Sometimes, like I said, you have to go around a car to block its vision. So the idea for this is as soon as you see the other dog coming towards you and it's far enough away, the dog doesn't perceive it to be an immediate threat. You say, focus, yes, I'll give you my eyes because I know that dog, it's going to take at least a minute for that dog to get here. And that gives you the ability to move around the corner or to increase in distance. Now, we also do something called counterconditioning at times. Come here, buddy. I'm actually going to let you up here even though you're not supposed to be up here. Oh, here, we'll put the pink blanket so you know you can come up here. All right, buddy, come on. There we go. Little lure. All right, so counter-conditioning, sit, is basically when the dog sees something it's normally reactive to, we try to create a counter approach. This is a little bit of a bonus. This is what the guardian, right now, the guardians here live in a secure building, and when somebody buzzes them, it rings her phone, one of the guardians' phones, and that causes him to get excited. So we can actually do counter conditioning for that, which I'll show you off camera. So what I'm doing is I'm taking one of these treats, it's square, I'm squishing it. All right, buddy, you're supposed to be back up here, come here. Come on, come on. There we go. So while he's seated and you're at enough distance where he can stay seated, he won't stay seated if he perceives the dog to be a threat. I squish this like a pancake, and I can change wherever he looks by moving the treat, up or down or to the side. So what I want is I want him looking directly at that dog, but at enough of a distance where that dog doesn't perceive to be a threat, and it's taking him longer to get this treat. So normally he sees another dog as potentially a threat, or he's excited, wants to talk to him, but doesn't know quite how to do it. Well, now when I see, if he perceives it as a negative, when he sees the other dog coming, he's getting this delicious treat approach while the dog approaches. And moving it kind of aside, so let's say the sidewalk is here, so you're walking down towards somebody's building on the front porch. So he's watching this dog, he's chewing the treat, and then as soon as the dog passes is when you want to pop the rest of the treat in his mouth or take the treat away. So what we're saying is when the dog approaches you, which is what theoretically he doesn't want, you're getting the best treat you've ever had. As soon as the dog passes you, you now get what you want. The dog's going away, the treat goes away. So this is why we call it counter conditioning. So after a while, if you're at enough of a distance, the dog just starts to associate. When another dog comes towards me, it rains treats. I like treats. And I'm not in an out of balance state of mind. Once he's reacting, you're not going to teach him any lesson. So he has to be calm and non-reactive. If he's reacting, you're too close. So keep on finding that distance until he can sit and take the treat while the dog passes. Let's say you're at 25 yards. That's the distance that he'll allow, and it's going to vary based on the dog's energy level, the other dog. And so let's say for this dog, it's 25 yards. Well, we practice, and that dog comes by, let's say, the neighborhood every day. And so we practice at 25 yards until he kind of looks nice and relaxed. Then we go to 24 feet and practice at 24 feet. And keep on doing that until he's relaxed at dogs passing at that distance. Then 23, 22, 21, 20. Now this is helpful to go to a place like in the neighborhood the part of LA we're in, there's a lot of dogs in this neighborhood. So if there's like usually between 4:30 and about 6 o'clock is kind of happy hour for dog walks. Everybody comes home from work and walks their dogs. So if you sit on your porch and you have if I remember, you have a gate where he can kind of see dogs coming. So when his dog starts coming, you start delivering this treat, and he's chewing, and the dog passes, and the treat goes away. It's like, well, I don't need to bark at you because you're already doing what I want. After a while, we start to help the dog start to associate. I like it when dogs approach me because I'm getting these high-value training treats. Now, I'm going to go over a couple other, I'm going to do some stuff off camera, but I'm going to just kind of summarize it here in this video so the guardians kind of have all this in context. Letting a dog rush right up to another dog is confrontational with the other dog, and it's your dog not practicing any self-control. So what you might want to do is enlist the help of a friend who has a dog that he is reacting to or that he's never met that he would react to. When we do dog behavior, we want to control the environment and the setting so that we can put the dog in the best position to succeed. If he freaks out, there's squirrels that are coming down the tree right behind us. So if you hear barking, that's why. So basically, what we want to do is stop and have him give a measured approach. I just did this with a dog, I'm trying to remember, it was a Corgi. If you go to my website, it's within a week or two ago, there's a video that shows this. But basically, I had one of my assistants with a helper dog, and what we did is we started approaching that dog, and as soon as the dog started staring and getting a little stiff and pulling on a leash, I stopped and asked the dog to come back in the heel position, which is what I'm going to show the guardians off camera, and then he sat down. And when he sat and calm, then we took another couple steps. As soon as he went in front of me, I stopped, brought him back to me, put him back in a sit. So what we're saying is, as soon as you move in front of the human stops. You stop the process. It has to be repeated enough before he figures out. As soon as I move in front, the human stops in place. And then we teach him to come back and sit next to us in heel position. Once he's sitting and calm, then we take another step or two. Now, if it's somebody on the street, they're not going to sit and wait for you. That's why we arrange to have a friend and meet them, and the friend is in on it with us. We can control the friend. And if the dog's reactive, we ask the friend to move away or go around a corner, and we can reset our dog with the focus exercise. And once he's nice and calm and balanced, bring that dog out, but at a greater distance to help him feel comfortable. So the idea with this is we help him understand that when I want to meet another dog, as soon as I rush in front of the humans stop. But if I stay next to the humans, we'll walk up casually. And when you walk up, again, the other dog is going to feel a little bit more comfortable because we're not rushing towards him. Now, when they do that, and ideally, what you would want to do the first couple times when you meet somebody, if it's possible, is have the dogs walking next to each other. So I usually do human, human, dog, dog. So the dog's on the outside. And so now we go walk around the block together. Well, the dog gets to see, smell, and hear the other dog, but doesn't interact with them. So it's easier, excuse me, it's an easier greeting for the dog. And so they get a kind of have a common bond without actually the pressure of actually meeting. Then when we do have them meet, we'd like to meet in an outdoor environment and kind of an outdoor space so the dogs have a little bit of room to move around. Confined areas can kind of amplify and put the dogs a little bit on edge. But if we help the dog practice, hey, if you see another dog and you try to excitedly rush up to it, that's going to guarantee stop me. But as soon as you come and sit next to me, then we'll continue approaching in a calm and measured way. The dog is practicing this nice measured approach. Now we have a baby on the way. I always say we, like I'm a part of every family I work with. I consider myself that while I'm here. But when we have a baby come, mom's going to be busy, managing the baby and the stroller and all the rest of the stuff. We need the dog to be doing what it needs to do on its own. So practicing this now before the baby comes helps the dog develop that skill set. So when we meet a dog later on, it's not reacting. And as soon as you see the dog staring at the other dog, that's the warning. That's the precursor to him exploding. So he's going to eventually get to that point. So as soon as the dog starts staring, focus. And we took the focus away from the other dog, and we're doing like this, and we can move him around the corner or wherever we need to go. All right, well, these are some tips and tricks you can use to teach you. Well, this is how you can teach your dog to focus, as well as some tips you can use if your dog approaches other dogs in not the most doggy polite fashion.